Hey everyone, it's Joseph.limo, real estate broker and professor here in Southern California. A question that comes up for a lot of agents as they start to find success in the real estate business, if they have another job or another career, it's when can I leave that job, that career, and go strictly into real estate full time? And I think there are some key things to think about and kind of milestones to hit as you make that transition. And the first one to understand is, where are you in your life? I say this because when I started in the real estate business 18 years ago, I was relatively young. I didn't have a spouse, kids, and a lot of the responsibilities that I have now. So in that moment, it was far easier to take a way more selfish and, of course, a way more open to risk uh, path in my life. So it was a lot easier for me to burn the ships, move forward, and never look back. As someone now who has a lot more responsibilities in my life, I know that making that kind of decision not only would be irresponsible, it would also be very, very selfish. So, where you're at in life can definitely determine how much risk you can take on to where it's not going to have a massive impact on not only your life, but all the people around you as well. So, that's one important thing to consider. The other part of it, I think it's really important, is making sure that you have a business plan in place that really spells out exactly what it takes for you to earn the income that you need, not only to survive, but to thrive. We're going to pursue this business because the idea is for us to have a greater income, greater kind of lifestyle it can provide. So making sure your business plan allows for that. And I don't mean just throwing mud against the wall with a bunch of ideas. I mean, knowing the numbers that you need to hit that you can ultimately get the number of opportunities, appointments, transactions, closing, and ultimately the income that you need. If that's not spelled out in a business plan, you definitely want to have that dialed in. I also like to focus on my business planning to separate my proactive lead generation from my reactive lead generation. The reason why this is important when you're making a big decision about going into real estate full time and walking away from another income is because proactive lead generation, these are things like knocking on doors, making phone calls, open houses. These are things that you can control. Okay. So you have the ability to get up every day and proactively go and attract or uncover new opportunities for yourself. Reactive lead generation, these are things like purchasing leads, referrals. They could be things like mailers and people are responding to you, email drip campaigns. These are more marketing. These are more like advertising type of opportunities, and people may engage and respond with you. Um, Facebook ads, as an example. These are all great lead generation strategies to have in your business plan, of course. However, my recommendation for anyone looking to go into real estate full time and walking away from another income is really make sure that your proactive lead generation can supplement that income that you're walking away from and really drive your real estate commission. And the reason why is because you have control over it. And I just don't think it's a good idea to walk away from an income that's coming in and going towards a real estate practice that doesn't have your full control over what the outcomes will be. Another thing I think is really important is to make sure that all your systems and your processes are built out in your real estate business. This is a really key time while you're maybe still a part of the other job, that you get a lot of these things dialed in. So that way, when you hit the ground running full time in real estate, you don't have to mess around with building or creating the systems. They're already in place, because creating systems are not necessarily income producing activities. And when you walk away from an income that's already there, you want to make sure that your calendar, your focuses, and all of your daily activities are focused on creating more income for yourself. So building systems after you've left that job, probably not the best idea in terms of making sure that you're ramping up on your real estate income. Last thing I would say, I think it's really key, just in a general sense, having your own personal finances when you have a salary is going to be dramatically different than your personal finances that come strictly from real estate commissions. So you're going to have to make sure that you're clear on, what does it look like when I don't get paid bi-weekly or once a month, that I get commissions? How are you going to make some of those changes in how you handle your money and your personal finances with the more sporadic, and hopefully a lot more often than like twice a month? Maybe you're getting 4 and 5 commission checks a month. That's ultimately the goal. But when it's more sporadic and not every single Friday, what changes, what adjustments do you need to make to your personal finances so that you are still accommodating your life and all of your responsibilities in a way that is going to work for you? Another key thing that a lot of people need to talk about and with their CPA or their tax preparer is how to handle the taxes and the money that comes in so that you're prepared to pay for those taxes. Because again, you're leaving a full-time job with an income. Often that W-2 type of income is going to have the taxes taken out for you, where it's not so much of a burden come tax time. On the real estate side, there are a lot of ways you can approach this. S corp, still taking it directly as an individual. Get with your tax preparer or whoever helps you with your taxes to figure that out. But just in the sense of making sure that you are maintaining the amount that you need to pay that tax bill come tax time is a really important adjustment. And I just would hate to see an agent make that transition, not consider this, and then have a really big, painful bill to pay at the end of the day. And then the last thing I would say is, well, the timing is always the question. When is it really the right time to make this jump? Again, the amount of risk that you're able to take on has a lot to do with all the things that we've talked about already. But one really great way to make sure that you're clear that it's time to make this move is, are your numbers tracking? Have you gone through a full season or cycle of real estate, just an annual cycle, to know that you didn't just have a great summer, that in a sustainable fashion, you are hitting your numbers to have the income that you need to walk away from that W-2 job or career. If you can live on commissions alone, even though you're still getting paid once a month or every other week, and that's something that's been sustained for like a solid 9 months to 18 months, now I think you're in a really good position to make that decision if it's time to walk away from that career and focus on real estate full time. I hope some of these tips were helpful. These are just some suggestions from someone who's been there before. So I hope that's helpful as you make your decision, as you continue to crush the real estate side, when it's time to commit full time and grow even faster and stronger. Have a good one, guys.